The first sestina is called In Gratitude for a Southern Baptist Upbringing. My father, his father, all the Leavell men preached sin, as though proclaiming the word often enough from the pulpit would drive it out of their hearts. Every Sunday, a new sin, usually something about sex, and usually committed by a woman. They all had those heavy canon voices, and it's the King James roll of those baritone voices, seminary trained, huge without microphones, that made sin sound so sensual to me. A child woman, suffering through puberty, suffering sermons enough to leave me no time to dabble into sex on my own when the wish did nibble its way into my heart. And there's no question it was our hearts they were after. Those masculine voices, sure as brass horns, trumpeting sex, even while they railed against sin. But no conversion, no confession was quite enough to earn their praise for me. A virtuous woman, virgin without stain, price above rubies, a woman who could ponder things in her heart the way Mary did. It was never enough. My modesty, my soprano solos, coloratura little voice from the wrong side of the family, a sin, the girlish register, a range of high notes that shimmered sex just when I yearned so earnest to stifle sex and anything else that branded me woman, adulteress, harlot, vessel of sin, who tempted righteous Adam, soul and heart, in that seductive bel canto voice, sticky with cinnamon and apples. Enough that I looked like her, Eve. Enough that my newly furred sex was hers. My name, Ava. My voice, the Delilah tones of a woman. My heart, the flesh heart of the one who first embraced sin. I'd heard so much about sin in church, I knew enough to go at it whole heart when the time came. Glad to be woman, brought up right, to sing desire in my own voice. Did you get 6 words? Sex, sin,
Father.
no.
Voice.
Voice and heart, woman.
Got it. Wait, I think there's one more. Enough. Enough. If you ever write a sestina, throw yourself a curveball by putting a word in there that doesn't go at all with any of the rest of them. So, I want to read now and quickly. One of the things you're left with when you have that kind of childhood is the deeper you go in your imagination, the more those characters are liable to pop up. So this is called Louie's Home of the Veggie Omelet. I'm sure you saw that Louie's in there. You know, the Cook's t-shirt used to always say Louie's Home of the Veggie Omelet. And this is for Mona Lisa Saloy, a good friend of mine, and that's actually her name. Louie's at 11, waiting for Mona Lisa. The cook saws a frozen muffin in 2 and sticks it in the toaster. I ask for some tea and squeeze the bag. The place fills up. It's getting noisy. Mona Lisa must have forgotten. Arms wave along the counter, stories warm, inflate. The cook moves faster, beats eggs with a fork. Chamomile tea, hot down my throat. I open in 2 halves, like the waffle iron, head to toe, along a cleft, parallel to my nose. An altarpiece carving of God the Father that creaks open on its medieval hinges to the Mary and baby nesting inside. Her forehead is grave, blemished. She is handing the baby the round ball of the world. I go ahead and order veggie omelet, toast with no butter, refill, same tea bag. The gold leaf of the ball is dimmed with age. Mary's blue gone to patches of indigo and worm-riddled wood. I'm going to eat alone. She's forgotten. I'm sure of it. The griddle goes yellow with my egg. The gold ball's not the sun, not the earth. The baby cracks it with one hand. A yellow blanket wraps bean sprouts, bell pepper, chopped zucchini, celery, red cabbage. In front of me, the plate, 2 clicks on the countertop. I blink. I ask for salt. I'm just going to read one more. This one, I've been trying to gauge whether it was all right to read this poem in here. I'm still not sure. Someone's nodding from the back. I'll take your word for it. Okay. You all know Ed Cullen, who writes for the paper. His wife, Martha Lynn, is a good friend of mine and has been for years, as is Ed. And their daughter, Emily, invented a curse word. And you know how curse words just have like, they have that, they have all those sounds in them, and they come out explosively. Her curse word is perfect in every way. Her curse word is, one word, God shit. I figured if a kid made this up, and I could say that it was Ed Cullen's daughter, that I could name a poem this. So, I'm going to read from the top. Ed started talking about it because he was embarrassed but kind of proud of her. So, God shit. Curse invented by Emily Cullen, 4 years old, and thereafter used by her parents, Ed and Martha Lynn, as party conversation. Ed said, only a Catholic. Ed said, God would have to shed emeralds and pure light. We said, only a Catholic would ever say that. He said, well then, what would all you Southern Baptists say God shit? We said, blood, thunder, spears. He said, we might be getting somewhere. What do you suppose the Presbyterian God would shit? We guessed. Bulwarks, canned English peas, committee schedule. He said, that's not as good. What about the old Hebrew God? We yelled, iron chariots of the Philistines, whirlwinds, fire, ram heads, Elijah's mantle bulrushes, Helmo gas bands. Oh, stop, he said. What are some other gods? Someone said, the God at the freshman convocation. What does it shit? We said, that one's a he. Treaties, blue blazers, manifest destiny, tobacco ash, triangle sandwiches. Pretty good, Ed said, taking over again. What about the science God? We answered quick on that one. Puberty, neutrons, worm gears, feuds, tang, skin donated for transplants, salt lick. He said, mixing up the science God with the engineering God. We said, ethics, space capsules, coffee, PVC hoses, square root signs. He said, different from the computer God. We said, little electronic beeps, this one's an it. A string with glitches, light motor oil, roach parts, paprika. He said, wow. And thought a minute and said, what about a God that's female? The women said, Korean orphans, rhizomes for swamp iris, leaf mold, dog's eyes, red in the dark, amaretto drinks, pomegranates. Ed said, we need a black God in here as long as we're doing tokens. We said, we made raspberries. He kept on. What about Jesse Jackson's God? The Black Reverend's God? We said, undertakers, quilts, sins breakers dashing, good altos, fried okra. Are you satisfied? He said, your own. You're so sure of yourself. What does your own God shit? Rotting father flesh, bigamy, wet tea, a run-over owl, ginger root, burning children, memory. There was a pause of about 2 beats. He said, who shits bricks? None of these guys shits bricks. We said, Martha Lynn's mother would if she were still awake.